What are some of the ideas you spearheaded that changed the face of telecommunications here in the Philippines?
First and foremost, when it comes to the structure and organization of the NTC, of which I was part of in 1987, the first thing, among others, that I had instituted during our time was to make it really a quasi-judicial agency. Number two, in terms of services, which I am proud of, was to be part of the initiative to open telecommunications in the country, both in cable, in telecoms, and in broadcast. Open cable television from three, today it's more than 500 cable companies providing service to the general public. In the field of telecoms, the first move which we had initiated was to remove the dichotomy between record and voice. So what we did, upon instructions of the President to liberalize the telecoms industry, was to remove the dichotomy between voice and record. And therefore, we urge and encourage Philcom. Surprise for that question.
Yes, sir. What are some of the things you did to impose your ideas to society?
Well, I put it this way, as a lawyer, and in accordance with the tradition of St. Thomas More, you know, we Ateneans, or we Atenean lawyers, you know, should behave like a man for others. And so, in that respect, the ideas that we planted were not really for self, but basically for the country. What would be beneficial to the country would be a guiding principle that I had during the time of when I was in government, as well as after my stint with government when I was in the private sector, again, likewise in the telecom sector, and having had the privilege of heading a telecoms company, one of the guiding principles for that company was really to provide services at efficient, cost-efficient services at the most reasonable rates that we could possibly offer the general public. Okay?
What are some of the notable achievements you have acquired in the field of telecommunications?
Well, in the field of telecommunications, I started out as an radio amateur enthusiast. I was what you call a ham in the late 70s. So, having been in the amateur service, I got to develop some ideas on how to be able to connect our remote areas to the urban areas. One of my favorite examples, and then when I joined government service as one of the commissioners of the NTC, on one of my trips, I was on a private trip. I went to this place in California. I forget right now. But I went up on the mountain, and I saw a telephone up in a mountain of about 2,000 feet in elevation. So I said, how come there's a telephone here? So when I came back, I asked the technical people. I said, I came from this spot in Grand Canyon, for example, and there's a telephone up there. How come we cannot provide the same service? And how is it that you have a telephone on top of the Grand Canyon? And an ECE, having been a lawyer by profession and only by training and only an engineer by osmosis, I asked my technical people then. I said, what's the principle that operates this telephone on top of the mountain? I said, sir, that's the old Navajo signal, in the olden times. But these are the smoke signals. So they travel by air. So I said, if they travel by air, what's the equivalent today? And they were telling me, sir, that's the radio. I said, okay, I know what a radio is, so why can we not use the radio to connect our unserved municipalities with urban centers? And so that's when we allow the coastal radio companies now to say, put up some fixed base stations to serve and augment the services of PLDT, PLDL, and all the voice carriers and all that. So I'm acquired in this field of telecoms.
What what sacrifices did you have to make to become the man you are today?
Oh, plenty. I've had to sacrifice monetary gains for 5 years in order to help this country. And we are serving government and serving this country during our time, during the Aquino, which is after the post-EDSA days, where we were imbibed with the spirit of serving the country first before your own pockets. You know, a friend, I can put that in a simple sentence. A good friend of mine I grew up with since my childhood days. He was in banking, and I was also in banking. I was also senior vice president for legal of a bank before I joined government. And if I were earning, say 50,000 pesos a month in the bank, when I was asked to join government, and I asked how much the salary was at that time 18,000 pesos for a commissioner. And so that's one of the financial sacrifices that, I had to forego, for my country, because I had the belief that since it was a change in administration, we would be able to change as well, people and the country environment, And so in my own way, I'd like to think that I contributed to the changes in telecom when we opened the telecom and broadcast industry to new investors.
What are the things that you think can help further improve telecommunications here in the Philippines?
I think that's a very hard question to crack, but I think one of the few ideas I had then was to provide security of tenure or to change the composition of the National Telecommunications Commission. In other words, we even had a pending bill, but unfortunately died a natural death. But under that bill, the commission would be composed of 7 individuals instead of only 3 as it is today. And those 7, 3 would be political appointees, 2 would be engineers, and 2 would be career employees. In other words, the idea being that there are 2 technical engineers who take care of the technical, and 2, because 1 would represent telecom, 1 would represent broadcast, and then 2 for the career, so that you would encourage the career employees to do their best so that they can aspire for a higher position. And of the 3 political appointees, why 3? Because they can easily be overridden by 4, well-meaning individuals as against political decisions. At the same time, the 3 would be, 1 would be a lawyer, 1 would be, again, another engineer, and 3 would be from any other profession, finance, accounting, whatever, to provide. But basically, it was my thought then, and there was a pending bill that died, which was for this composition. And I spearheaded this idea at the time. Only Congress was not that cooperative at that point of time. So